Hi, it's Glenn McKnight again. This is the last of a series of interviews. We're interviewing all the schools that are members of the DC Coalition of Schools of Internet Governance with the IGF. So what we decided to do is to ask everyone who's running a school, tell us a little bit about themselves and what they've achieved. But more importantly is how the COVID-19 pandemic has caused challenges for them and sometimes opportunities. And then the segue into that, what are the plans for 22? So I'll turn it over to you. So welcome.
Hi, Glenn. Thanks for the invitation. My name is Ilona Stadnik. I'm running the Russian Summer School on Internet Governance. It's pretty young school. We started in 2012. I partner and collaborate with the Russian Center, Coordination Center for the domain.ru.rf. And also I'm an assistant professor in St. Petersburg State University, School of International Relations. So my background is pretty much academic,
Mhm.
and it was quite natural that I will be running the school. We decided that in 2019, more or less, but we didn't formulate it in the way that we need a school. We decided to go in a longer journey. We started to engage youth people, students, young professionals to the topic of internet governance. It was our primary primary aim. Um, and we decided to make different educational seminars, first of all, and actually made them like coincide with the Russian IGF. But as we started in 2019, the next IGF was scheduled in 2020, and it was the year of the pandemic, and it was cancelled, unfortunately. But we decided to keep the seminar as we planned, but move it to online. And actually, it was the testing of the format because we decided that if we go smoothly, then probably we can make a school. So the seminar, the educational seminar, was actually following the Russian IGF topics. We invited speakers that were actually scheduled to be speakers at the Russian IGF, and they make kind of IG out of scratch. So they explain the topics in detail from the beginning, explain the problems, why people really discuss it, and what's the matter. And then we made kind of exercise of doing like use messages on this topic. Well, it wasn't very successful because we didn't have too much involvement, like 10 people more or less, but it was a good start. So we just touched the ground and worked out the formats. And by summer, the seminar was in like early spring, it's like April. We more or less decided what we want to do for the school, because we see that people really lack the background. Internet governance is not really a popular topic in Russia, because if you will translate it literally, as we do, it's like управление, like governance. It has very negative connotations. It's like a red big button in someone's heads that have some power about the internet, and it's not really what the internet governance about. And we really see that the need for the comprehensive school, and we started to draw the curriculum. And actually the materials that provided the dynamic coalition was very useful, because we didn't have to reinvent the wheel, and the basic topics were already there. So we just have to translate them into Russian. And it was kind of challenging task because we really understand that our audience maybe not very well known, very talented in English. I don't know how to say it right. Okay, so the language issue was very strong there. And as you asked, the COVID didn't challenge us. because we started actually in the pandemic. So it was the background for us. And we just took everything out of this situation. The main challenge, however, was that, as I said, IG is not very popular topic in Russia. And it was really hard to advertise the school. So we decided to make it like classic educational experience. And we partnered with the St. Petersburg State University where I worked. So we turned it into the educational course with a certificate and with the educational credits. But the composition was quite complicated because we have like two parts. We have a basic course that was not supported by the university, but we partnered with Internet Society. So we actually tried their pilot course on internet governance, the one that they updated just recently this year. So we were using it. And then we accompanied this with homework readings and weekly seminars where we discuss topics, inviting the experts. And of course, it was in Russian. And after that, we have like 40 people that survived this basic course. And then we moved to the university curriculum that I elaborated, and we discussed in a deeper scale particular topics that also coincided a little bit with the global IGF and the Russian IGF. So what's on the agenda? And after that, we have like 38, 35 graduates. That's a big figure actually. For the 2021, we did almost the same. We also have the basic course, like the so actually our school is free of charge for people because we have like funding from the cctld.ru. This is actually where the funds come. And actually we have a free admission policy. So we have like more than 100 applications each year. But out of this big figure, the amount of people who go through the basic course is like 60, 70. And by the results of this basic course, we have like 35, 38 graduates. So pretty much okay result, I guess. What else? For the 2021, for this summer, we were planning to make kind of a hybrid event because we really understand that face-to-face meetings, in-person schools are much better than online. But the experience show us that we have a very large country, so it's like very, very long. We also have like 8 hours difference between the eastern part and the European part. And the online format really allows people from all over the country to join. And it will be very, very expensive to bring them to Moscow, for example, or to St. Petersburg. Also, we have a lot of participants from the neighboring countries from the CIS region. So former Soviet republics, Eastern European countries who is Russian speaking. So this is also enabling the wide geography. We even got applications from students from Latin America, from Asia Pacific, that are actually exchanging students in Russia. And that's quite fascinating experience for them too. So that's why we just get off the idea that we will be doing this in hybrid and to the online format. Another challenge was to provide a good collective work during the online event. And we were experimenting with different formats. For the first year, we had online debates, but it was quite a long experience because it lasted for 6 hours. We had 3 groups debating on 3 topics, but actually it was like 6 groups, yeah, pro and contra. It was okay, but by the end, everyone was tired. And And for this year, we tried another exercise. Let me call it like this. We were doing mind mapping of the new issues pertaining to internet governance. So basically, we were exploring the green agenda, the greening internet. What is the ecology in internet? What is the interceptions? What are the intersections and so forth. So basically, participants were searching the topic and mapping what they have done so far, and then they were defending their project. And it was much better, but still we have room to develop, because we realized that we need to make a special training on how to use these online tools like Miro. I don't know how to pronounce it good. Because we realized that probably pre-training for using these tools will enable much more fruitful work, much more good-looking work, because people also spend a lot of time on trying to understand what to do and how to do this work in this tool.
Sorry. If I can interrupt you, I wasn't sure. You said hybrid? Was it physically or just a combination of physical and virtual event in 2021?
So we were trying to make it like combination of physical and virtual.
Okay.
And it didn't work because we see that the restrictions that we also have in Russia wouldn't be left off, and we were at a high risk to make it like that, and then in the last minute to cancel everything. Okay. So we decided to keep safe and just to continue the last year format, because it was kind of successful. Okay. But we are in a constant process of experimenting with the formats, experimenting with the lenses, because the first school was 2 months. It was running for 2 months. So we have 1 month of preparatory phase and 1 month of the basic phase. But actually we met like once in a week, and it was more or less convenient for all the people, because we have a lot of students, but we also have a lot of teachers, like university teachers, lecturers, and young professionals. So it was very crucial for them to merge the working schedule, the educational schedule with the school. This year, we tried to condense it, and the basic preparatory phase took us 2 weeks, but it was more intense. They had a lot of to read, a lot of to do before the like online webinars, seminars, and meetings with the experts. But it was also fine, and the final stage with the university certificate, it also took like three weeks. It was also okay.
So the students walk away, not just the basic course, the more advanced course, they have assignments, and they also get a university certificate, correct?
Yes. So that's why it looks more or less academic, how to say it, academic style summer school in internet governance, not really much very practical.
So tell us a little bit more about the types of assignments or requirements that the students had to do. They had to go through a rigorous process to be accepted, but tell us a little bit more about the student obligations.
So the main obligation is just to be curious.
Okay.
But as for the assignments, so we suggest people to read some materials we provide with the links, with the PDFs or something like this, with video lectures. I think that we probably used some of the lectures of the virtual school too. But again, this is the language issue. Some people are comfortable to listening to the English language, some people are not. So it's like additional material with more depth. And we provide them with like 1 or 2 guiding questions that they prepare beforehand in a written form. So it's like a short essay, it's like a short deliberation from them on this question related to the topic material. So basically we discuss history of internet, we discuss the variety of actors, we discuss the variety of internet governance models, We discussed the variety of IG issues. So what we are really talking about when we refer to IG. Something about cybersecurity, something about legal regulation instruments, and so forth. This is how the basic course runs. And as for the next step that is covered with the university certificate, it's a more comprehensive study of particular issues like artificial intelligence and ethics, like regulation of online platforms and so forth. So here we invite experts, and they provide, first of all, a lecture on this topic covering the basic points. And they also provide questions for the home task. It can be whatever. It can be a group work, like a presentation on that. It can be a personal question, or also a small essay, or we can make a short, for example, test, and then see how the distribution of answer goes, and then discuss this. And we have also the final assignment. This is the classes where we have debates, and this year we had this online mind mapping exercise.
Mhm.
So they basically were exploring the topic, searching it, and trying to conceptualize how things are going with greening internet agenda.
Now, one of the things you identified early in the discussion today was the challenge in Russia in using the term internet governance. Have you considered another term that is less, I'm not saying offensive, but more receptive to the potential sponsors or audience?
When I start with the opening lecture about what is internet governance, I always say that it would be better to put it like coordinating and internet. And this is how I'm trying to say it in Russian. It will be a different meaning, but the idea is the same. So we do not govern, like make directions what to do, but we coordinate different questions on different platforms and different processes. So this is what I'm trying to explain to people that are newcomers to the topic. As for the literal translation, we have a good book that is written by Jovan Kurbali, and I think you know him, this internet governance, with different editions. And actually it is translated into Russian, and we use the same like very straightforward translation, like управление интернетом, which has a bit of negative connotation. But this is how it was concealed in the Russian language, and this is very widely commonly used term. And actually the Russian IGF is also the forum for governing internet, if to translate it back from Russian into English. And this is just a general term that we use to it, and this big, not big, like mid-size Russian Internet Governance Society, and is used to it.
Okay, so I don't want to dwell on that, but I think you're adapting because of the challenges. Did you have any issues using the word school, or because you're associated with the university, that's not an issue for you? I know in some schools that they had that as an issue. So in your case, it was not an issue?
No, it's just as we wanted to name it, we name it. And so far we provide with certificates. We have like 2 certificates. The one is not like official from the coordination center. The second by the university is official. Okay. But in the university certificate, we don't name it like school. We name it a course, global internet governance on the global and national level, something like this, if to translate it.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. So in terms of the the cohorts. So did you do one or two cohorts, two groups in 2021, or was just the one?
No, it was just one. Uh, if I may, I can
I can
show
share.
the,
I can
yeah, I
share.
can
I can
share.
share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to share. Let's see. There we go. Do you have access
I
now?
see. Yeah, yeah. So sorry, because the right part is not translated yet, but we will work on this. So we have one cohort because we don't have a lot of instructors, and this year we have tried to engage also the alumni from the last school to help with homework assignments. And I think that we will expand this experiment further. So for the inaugural edition of the summer school, we had more than 100 applications. This is the gender balance, like very much equal. And this is the distribution of the occupation. So students are the most of them. We have lecturers and have specialists. And this is the geography. And you see we have pretty much big coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the background knowledge and expertise of the applicants. And international relations, political science, media, programming, IT, law, informatics, digital economy, journalism. So this is the background of our students. For the next year, we had almost the same picture. We have differences in the gender balance. We have more women, more girls, and the audience is pretty young. So 72 applications are below 22 years old. We also have the prevalence of students, a small part of specialists, but actually it's really good, and we encourage this because the more people who are who are in the educational system get to know about this field of knowledge, the better. So they can teach something to their students in the next consecutive years, or they can refer to this program if they see some interest in their students too, and specialists, of course. But specialists are more from the law field, like practitioners,
yeah,
lawyers, and so forth. The geography was even wider, and for the background, just trust me, it's almost the same. It's international relations, it's ICT and telecommunications, it's law, it's political science, and so forth. So pretty much the same audience that we get each time. And the total amount of the applications was even higher. It's like 127, but we got 38 graduates this year.
Yeah, that's really impressive on your number of more females, 65% to 35%. I'm not sure exactly in comparing other schools. I'll have to ask that. We need to do a real survey, but I think that's a high percentage compared to anecdotally in terms of the North American school and VSIG. Yeah, your numbers are quite high. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you have that? You know, we're talking twice as many women as men.
It's a tricky question. I guess it is rooted into the, I don't know how to say it. Well, honestly, in our tradition, girls are more likely to be studying some things. They are more like concentrated. That's it's like the aim of the life. I'm speaking very awkwardly, but I'm not very sure how to express it correctly. So this is just because boys are less concentrated on the studies, on the education than girls, and probably that's why we have more girls than boys in this school.
Okay. Well, that's probably a good reason. The other question that jumps out at me is the age of your 72% are from the ages of 15 to 22. That's an interesting age group, and I'm just wondering why you have so many young students.
I think this is the question of marketing,
Okay.
because the first place where we go to is universities, and
Okay.
students for the first year students, freshmen, are mostly likely to be applying to the school.
Okay.
It's harder to get graduate students and PhD students because they are quite busy with their work, with their stuff, and only if they really wanted to know something about digital sphere, about internet, and
Hmm.
that's why they come to us. But actually those people are more interested in these topics. They really provide good insights from their side. They really do brilliant homework. I mean, these short essays and different thoughts that they have after they have consumed all this supporting background material. And this is the people that I really have a pleasure to work with,
Right.
because they really know what they want to do and what they want from us to the school.
Okay.
But all the other applicants, they also very bright and curious people. And this is our, I will say, like I'm starting to to forget English words. This is our responsibility to keep this curiosity, this interest further in them, and that's why we developed a lot of different side events, side activities, where we try to engage the recent alumni to further be involved in the internet governance too.
Okay. That is there any other slide you want to share with me? What was the results of your surveys, post surveys? Any recommendations for additional courses, perhaps on cybersecurity or other issues? Is there anything that you got feedback from the students?
We definitely did several surveys after each of the phase, after the preparatory and the basic phase. But actually, we were asking about the format because we were trying to make it more convenient for them and more rich. But as for the additional like directions to study,
Hmm.
we didn't collect such an information.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely it's hard to tell from surveys, as you know. Not everybody accurately answers them, and I guess you have to sort of almost do one-on-one interviews with people to extract. So looking forward to 2022, what's your big plans for next year?
Uh, like the main novelty that I will be trying to make is to introduce the curators. As I said, for this year, we were experimenting with engaging the graduates from the last year to help us and assist in conducting this summer school in 2021. Um, it was just an experiment. We didn't really advertise it like we have curators, but we make a Telegram chat for the whole community, and curators also were there, and they were trying to inspire some conversations. They were guiding people in their homework, especially during the group work, the final assignments, and it was quite good. But for the next year, we plan to make it more deep, more deep involvement of the curators, because I guess that we will get even more applications for the next year, because we are working hard in this direction, and we are enlarging our youth community by making different side events, and I guess that for the next year we will be having much more applications than we had previously. And that's why, since our resources are quite scarce, I mean human resources, because I'm a coordinator and sometimes a lecturer during the school, and this is pretty much hard to combine. especially when you have to check like 60 assignments twice a week.
Right.
This is quite challenging. So yeah, so we will be introducing creators next year.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think from a financial point of view, I know you said you got support from the CCTLD .ru, correct?
Right.
So is there anyone else coming on stream you're looking at next year that can do any more financial support, or you're financially okay? And I think your model is a free, you don't charge students
Yeah, we
any
don't charge
charges, right?
students. Mhm.
So,
We haven't been discussing it yet,
okay.
but I guess that if we will enlarge the number of the cohort that will be on the row, probably we will be searching for other partners that will support us financially. But we haven't really discussed these plans so far, so I can't tell you.
Okay. Okay. So looking into 22, I assume you're looking at a face-to-face school then.
I guess no. I guess we
Huh?
will keep the online format so far.
Okay. Okay. So again, there's such a huge number that, because you're not just talking the current geopolitical boundaries of Russia, but all those Russian-speaking former Soviet countries are also. So what's it? You must be talking what, 300-400 million people in your geolocation, correct?
More or less.
More. Okay. So is there, looking at your time zones, there's 8 time zones. Is there an interest to do the course in like other languages? I'm sure there's other types of languages it's in Russia that you can look up delivering the course. Is that correct?
Do you mean like internal languages?
Yeah. So
Like
yeah,
from national minorities?
yeah, correct.
I guess no, because it's very hard to do this,
Okay.
and the Russian language is very common, and the language of national minorities is something that they preserve, that they use
Right.
in their local territories, but it doesn't make any sense to do this. It requires a lot of resources, and you have to find a person who will translate everything into these languages, but it doesn't really make sense.
Right. Right.
What we will be doing probably is to introduce some English materials too, maybe some English speakers and guest speakers and lecturers, but
Right.
we will see what will be the audience next year.
Right. Right. Yeah. And all 60 of our speakers from VSIG are available. The YouTube videos are of each of our live sessions are open to you guys, as well as we commonly share our resources to your group.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And as I said, we used, I think, one or two videos from one of your cohorts too.
Yeah, it's definitely a big task, and I congratulate you on all the work you guys have been doing, because it hasn't been the easiest time to start a course. Like, the pandemic is the worst possible time, but it was also an opportunity. Was there any digital connectivity issues for the students? I'm not sure what platform you were using. Were you using Zoom for your live sessions? Yeah. Was there a connectivity issue, digital divide issue for your students?
Not really, but actually depends where the person is located at the time when we meet, because sometimes we had speakers sitting in the car with their phone in the middle of the fields. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so mobile internet is saving us.
But it's worth talking and interacting with the other members of the DC coalition, how they take on their challenges, and again, your school, like every one of the other schools, drill down into the issues that are important for Russian citizens. It's one thing getting to know about internet governance in general. It's another thing getting to actually what's on the ground in terms of what privacy legislation, what activities. So is there are any sort of best practice that you want to share with everybody else that you think you guys are doing? And I'm not saying bragging, but I think you this is an opportunity to tell everybody what are some of the things that you believe are quite innovative with your school.
In terms of format or what?
Anything, format, delivery, the requirements for the students, it's an open question.
Okay, so I think I will repeat myself because inspire your prospective applicants to be curious, first of all. In the application form, we have only one question that relates to the selection criteria is, have you ever heard about internet governance and what you initially think of it? That's it.
Okay.
As for the format, please do experiment because you never know what will work out in the end. You can design a perfect timing and perfect speakers, but in the middle of the course, you just realize that people are tired of just listening and sitting and just trying to dig out some questions because they have to. So try to combine some asynchronic activities with synchronic ones, because it's not really working when you meet like twice a week just to talk. No, there should be some preparatory work. People should dig deep into the context, and then they should come with some questions in mind. And only then you will have a fruitful discussion.
Right.
I think that's the only recipe for a good school.
Yeah, but that's an important point, is getting them, the expression is pumped or prepared for the next module or next topic. So if they're thinking and seeding questions and seeding ideas, they're part of a discussion thread. So when they come, they're sharp, they're ready to get deep into the discussion. Sitting there in silence, that's not a pleasant experience. I've had many of those experiences before.
And actually the our requirement to make a written assignment, just to write down your thoughts on the discussable questions, is the best experience, because people sometimes are shy to talk, just to raise their voice and start delivering some thoughts. And once they just put them down, they are not so shy and they are not afraid to talk. And that's what I really understand after running 2 schools. And that's why we always ask them to write down some initial thoughts when they prepare for the next webinar, for the next module.
Just a personal question. Have you been an ICANN fellow or next gen?
I was ICANN next gen once.
Oh, okay. Because that's something I think your students would benefit from, applying for the different fellowships. Right now, unfortunately, ICANN's not meeting face to face, and I've met a few fellows from Russia, but generally speaking, very few have been from Russia with the ICANN fellowship, and there's been about 1,100 fellows. Right now, it's all virtual. My associate Alfredo Calderon is one of the mentors for that program, but there's also the early fellowship program. Sorry, it's called the Early Career Fellowship Program with ISOC. Is another,
too.
And there's other things. Benton Foundation. There's Mozilla Fellows. There's I don't think your students are being hurt by doing this course. I think there's more international opportunities as well for them to get involved.
Actually, this is what we are working on now too, because our school is just a small step towards the global interaction. So we're trying to teach people the basic background, and then to provide them with skills and knowledge of how to participate, how to apply to different fellowships programs. And actually my personal proudness, if I may put it like this, is that the alumni from the first school is now participating in the youth summit, in the youth IGF summit. One of the brightest student, the one girl, she is now at the how to say it, at the internship at the ITU, and she was a part of the ITU Generation Connect program. And this is also due to the participation in the school and with the acknowledgement of the general field. And we're also running a group, a Telegram channel, where I regularly update the different calls for participation, whether it's fellowships, whether it's different programs, whether it's internships. So we're trying to show that there are a lot of opportunities. And actually what I with what I start in each school is that internet governance is the perfect place to start your kind of international career, because it's very low level entry. So you can just start when you're a student, as I did. So this is good.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter if, it's a question of when. And the first thing you have to do is commit yourself to something. And there's such a wide range. First of all, you have to find out what your interest is. And internet governance is such a wide group. And within that wide selection, that taxonomy, there's something that really meets your interest. And as we all know, a lot of people go on from doing some great stuff. Let's wrap up. Any other final comments you would like to share with us?
I'm looking at my notes, and I think that I covered everything that I wanted to share today with you. But maybe some final questions, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're going to be together on December 9th, and we're sharing this video with anyone who's going to be attending the session. And we're going to have a very short presentation, but we can drive them to this video. I'll send it to you so you can post it on your website as well. I just have to say that, you know, with experience of volunteering with the Southern School for at least 5 times, and Indian school at least 4 times, and I was in the African school as a helper as well, and obviously North American. You know, it doesn't matter. We're all doing something very, very similar. Some, you know, have a more academic approach. Some people have much more hands-off and more dialogue approach, but everybody's doing some great stuff. So it's a fantastic opportunity to share some time with you and learn what you're doing, and hopefully other people will take interest and contact you. So, which is great. Thank you.
Thank you also for inviting me once again. And I'm waiting to see you soon, in like 20 days.
Yeah,
or something.
Not too long, not too long. On the 9th of December. So, great. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.